Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about backwards walking and sledding. So right now it's a rainy day. I mean, it's absolutely miserable. So I'm using a resistance band to do some backwards walking. I've seen a lot of people sort of talk about sledding and like how it's really good for recovery, for blood flow. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why that's the case. So as we see during a sledding motion, so if this was a sled, I'd be dragging the weight backwards. In the absence of that, I'm just using a resistance band. What makes it so good for recovery and for a warm-up, or if you have a particularly sensitive area, like you have a sensitive knee, and you want to do something before you work out, what makes it so good in that regard is it gets blood flow straight into the knee, but with minimal resistance. And the reason of that is because it's mostly a concentric motion. So I'm coming back here and I'm pushing through the leg, and then that's the main part of the resistance done, and then I can just release it. So that's better reflected on an actual sled, but you can see here the eccentric contraction. So as I'm coming from this lengthened state to this shortened state is pretty minimal. Most of the work is in this concentric contraction, which is much more manageable. So as you're going through sledding, it's incredibly minimal stress on the joint, but also very repetitive, and also going through some semi-deep knee flexion. So it's great for blood flow and great for developing some musculature, and also, getting some synovial fluid into the joint, whilst the actual demand of the exercise on the joint is fairly low, which is why you can actually sled for 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. And it's often a good option for people that can't yet squat or can't yet do other exercises that are a little bit more demanding. And it's normally, say if you have a meniscus injury, any sort of squatting pattern is painful, you can usually still sled, which is why it's so versatile.